trouble, I'm an addict, I'm addicted to this girl.
These videos drove a lot of people to his comment section to make fun of him, but Buddy wasn't about to take the memes lying down.
To my haters, all you're doing is fueling the fire. When you comment, like my stuff, follow me, and react to my videos trying to down me, you're just making it worse for you. Because I will continue to do duets with my fans, and I will continue to do videos from my house where I live with my parents who love to support me, and I support them because they need me.
And to be fair, he wasn't exactly wrong about this. Whatever you thought about him, all publicity was good publicity. And people watching his videos to hate on him were just giving him more influence in a growing space. More haters did lead to more fans. The truth was that as foul as his TikToks were, there was no crime being committed here. If we were locking people up for being weird, then we'd probably have to start with a few others before we moved on to Buddy here. Nevertheless, people's discomfort did reflect legitimate concerns. The idea that Buddy's preference to make TikTok duets with young women wasn't just because they were his fans, but instead that there were some ulterior motives at play here. And in October 2018, these concerns were validated when a TikTok user by the name of BitHoji went live with allegations against him for privately targeting and messaging underage fans with sexual intent.
Other girls then started messaging that girl and showing them that Boudet sent them. Keep in mind, all the girls are way underage. Girls in second grade look like they're seniors. Second and third is like 7th grade. Like, this goes down to like 14, 13-year-old girls that this guy has been talking to.
Like many creators at that time, Liz or BitHoji had spent a lot of 2018 assembling compilations of creators she found to be creepy. Unfortunately, all of these compilations appear to be lost to time, but in an interview she gave to BuzzFeed, she said she had made one of these compilations about Buddy, and from there got a message from an underage person who offered to test the waters to see if Buddy was truly a man of action. I would not recommend anyone underage approaching someone who may have sexual interest in that demographic, but it seems they went ahead with this social experiment anyway, and to great success.
Do you think I'm attractive? Oh, how old are you? 14. I mean, may I be honest? Yeah, of course. If it was me, I'd try to make the relationship with you last for years. LOL, I feel like I look stupid. You're okay, don't worry about it. I kinda sorta have a crush on you. And shouldn't.
Although the conversations were reported to have begun innocently enough, they quickly devolved into Buddy developing an interest in this young person, and taking it immediately into sexual territory.
I mean, you're the cute one here, not me, so.
The evidence would make its way to YouTubers in no time, most notably Bionic Pig, who uploaded a video covering the saga and providing his take on everything.
I don't have the original picture, but the one that they have is just a blurred out one. Yeah, the picture's blurred out, but you can definitely tell that it is a fake.
There was now undeniable proof that Buddy's TikToks weren't just for show. He was a genuinely disturbed person, and definitely not someone who should be handling any online following. But just like when people made fun of him for being creepy in public, he wasn't about to turn the other cheek once his messages were leaked. His first line of defense was that he had been hacked, and that the allegations were falsely framing him. As it became clear that this was somewhat impossible given the content of some of the allegations, he would change his angle when talking to BuzzFeed, stating that although they may have been true, he denied their sexual nature. He also states that he was drunk at the time and didn't remember sending that stuff, and was unaware of the person's age. Even though, if you look at the DMs, he clearly kept talking to them once they said they were 14. He was speedrunning every possible defense at once, but none of it was working. Liz even posted her own response to the hacking claims.
But now Buddy's saying that, like, I hacked into his iCloud and whatever and, like, sent these pictures and videos. If that was the case, how could I have gotten them to match up so well with that conversation? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
With all of the backlash getting bigger and bigger, Buddy would briefly leave the internet. Although once he returned, he basically tried the same approach as when people were calling his videos creepy, labeling everyone who was criticizing him as haters.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the day is back. For those that missed me, I'm sorry. For those that were big haters while I was gone, it's okay. I just decided to take a little mini vacation from TikTok, just to kind of cool myself off from all the fire that's been going around. So I'm back. There is no stopping me. There is no stopping the storm, the fire that is the bidet. For those that like me or follow me just to spread hate, to try to get me off this app, you realize you're wasting your time. Best thing for you to do is just to block and not follow, because the less followers I get, the less more I want to be on. The more followers I get, the more I love to be on here. Even if it's just
But obviously, this kind of thing only really works comedically when you're not being accused of a crime. Once you're called a criminal, you basically have to either stay silent or legitimately try to debunk the claims. This weird in-between was not well received, and so he went back into hiding, with his account being banned by TikTok shortly after. The allegations against him were given further credibility when another YouTuber, Jay Aubrey, performed an investigation of his own, where he got new evidence from another person who claimed that the bidet had made inappropriate advances towards her while she was underage.
Why don't you just send me something? Well, it's like blowing a kiss or something. If you don't want to, that's fine. Maybe next week we can meet? Just meet you and see you, honestly. Maybe meet in Nashville or something. Sent you something on Snap. Oops, may I be honest? Yeah, sure, haha. I sent those videos because I'm sorta turned on and wanted to tease you.
By now, it seemed unlikely that multiple different people would go so far as to frame him. And with Jay Aubrey's video accumulating millions of views, his situation was only going more viral, with more videos, articles, and posts being made calling him out. But what set this scandal apart from others was how many views were being generated from a seemingly inconsequential person. The evidence pointed towards him being a predator, but let's be honest, it's not like they're particularly rare online. But for some reason, people loved watching videos about the bidet. I guess every online space does need its own brand of losers, creeps, and pedos. And Buddy was a pioneering figure in creating that sort of individual that people hadn't really experienced before. He was the first of many creepy TikTokers who clearly had some sort of mental problem that would probably interfere with their ability to garner followings on other platforms. But it worked in a sort of perverse way in short-form video. This uncanny valley style of content, complemented by the credible allegations against him, made him a very unique guy in the landscape, and a unique guy to put in YouTube thumbnails. Videos about him could deal with his more disturbing side while also managing to be funny, because Buddy was such a cringelord. But this level of attention was not something that Buddy prepared for, and his momentary disappearance from online life marked the end of a popular but short-lived stint of internet fame. Most people of a viral nature, positive or negative, have to work very hard to keep themselves in the public consciousness. And it seemed that Buddy wasn't able to do that. Even if he wanted to, the loss of his TikTok account greatly reduced his platform and his ability to pick up where he left off. So as 2018 gave way to 2019, people just moved on, even while Buddy was still finding himself in the midst of more allegations.
It's been a few months since we talked about the bidet on this channel, and during that time frame, I received literally dozens upon dozens of emails from concerned fans who claim to have personal experiences with Buddy Haynes.
Even his inappropriate behavior wasn't original anymore, but it seems like Buddy wasn't ready to let go of the small slice of attention he had once received.
I was gonna say, you don't have to cover up for me, haha. You're cute. I'd love to get to know you more. Wish I was there. I'd want you. You're beautiful. I kinda like you. You'd be a good girl. 16, right? This is the Snapchat that she was talking about that proves Buddy Haynes knows about her age. Into you so. And lastly, she sent a video that shows Buddy pulling down his shirt and making a suggestive face.
As we've seen with countless examples of these kinds of people, even if they're forced to give up their online following, they often struggle to come to terms with it, instead making new accounts to get back that attention. But before I go any further, a message from today's sponsor, Header Belt. Do you have a hard time focusing in class, reaching a plateau in the gym? Well, it might be because you have depression. And if you do, then there's no better solution than Header Belt, the only website where you can talk to a guy on Skype in your room alone, and you get to pay for it.
I tried Fetterbelp, and my grades went from a C- average to an A+.
I tried Fetterbelp, and now my grandkids forgot that I left my wife for a Brazilian baddie.
I hate my life.
So try Header Belt today. Okay, but I do actually have a new shirt, okay? Okay, please buy it. Rent is due soon. The shirt's pretty sick, okay? I promise. It's legendary. Look at it. It's legendary. This side, we got this side. We got this cool designs, okay? It's kind of schizo. It's legendary, okay? turkeytom.shop. Now back to the video. Buddy wasn't about to give up on his dreams of being an internet celebrity, so he decided it was time for a rebrand. He began calling himself the Masked Freak Alpha, which is definitely an interesting decision considering what people were exposing him for.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
He didn't really make a great effort to hide his identity. In fact, it seemed more like a gimmick designed to attract attention from anyone who was still interested. Unfortunately for him, a majority of people had moved on to whoever the next notorious online figure was at the time. However, a few people did stick around to provide this chapter of his life with some coverage. The most interesting one being a creator by the name of Activiz. He would talk about Buddy, often reporting on any updates and mocking his content, with the most interesting part being Buddy's repeated claims that he was in fact the victim of the drama from 2018.
I was not trying to flirt with her. I was just trying to be friendly. Y'all can take it however you want, but I did nothing wrong.
Okay, if you're trying to be friendly, why would you wish someone was there with you? And you're telling them that she would be a good girl, and you're literally sending her a video of you pulling your shirt down and making a weird face. That ain't being friendly.
Buddy would eventually catch wind of this, but by now, he knew that just calling Activiz a hater wasn't gonna work. So he uploaded a diss track to SoundCloud called Alpha. The description here reads, "It's not your traditional rap. It's got the flow, but a different kind of glow. I prefer a little something like Hollywood Undead mixed with Bo Burnham. I honestly can't think of a better description."
Wake up in the morning, sipping on my haters' tears, feasting on the doubts and begging the fears. Gotta get ready to get the spread, and you talk shit, your girl's giving me head.
I'm starting to notice a trend here. Get outed as some kind of creepy person, and then, for some reason, make a song about it.
The toxic gossip train.
I'm not a pedophile.
There really should be a Wikipedia page about these people at this point. Maybe a Watch Mojo list. Top 10 losers, creeps, and pedos who made diss tracks about it. But this song begs the question, is it just an attempt to farm attention, or does he actually think he is winning something here? Activiz would upload his own diss track using the beat from Eminem's Kill Shot to make his own point.
You a grown-ass man in a fedora hat and an 80.7 with a terrorist mask.
And Buddy would provide a response, showing Activiz what a direct diss would look like.
I want to slow it down to this clown so you can understand what it's like to fuck with a real man. You're gonna copy Eminem's Kill Shot? Is that really the best you got? Did you really think my words were directed at you? Hell, we don't even give a shit what you do. I don't even know who you were till a fan showed me you trying to cause a stir.
They would trade blows in the following months with more fascinating diss tracks that seemed to highlight Buddy's own ineptitude. However, what would happen next would significantly escalate this drama.
First girl, or I get the first video of the whole "I'm crushing on you more" video. That girl's 19, about to be 20. The girl who edited the video is the same age as well.
After being targeted before, you'd think that Buddy would have wisened up to people trying to farm his disturbed tendencies for free content, especially given he had continued to contest the allegations that had been presented against him in the past. In many of these diss tracks, he had accused his haters, and people like Activiz, of pushing these false allegations when they didn't really know the truth.
Believe nothing on YouTube that you see. They got you minds living like a zombie.
So Activiz decided to put this to the test. He made a catfish account of a 17-year-old girl and initiated conversations with Buddy. He ended up revealing the results in a video uploaded at the end of July 2019. Activiz says that he's not doing it with the intent to have Buddy arrested, and as far as the conversations here, they didn't veer into sexual territory. But Buddy definitely was flirtatious. It's behavior that would still be deemed inappropriate towards a 17-year-old girl by a man of Buddy's age. So they eventually arranged a meeting point, with the plan being to take a nice walk around the park. But to Buddy's disappointment, there was no 17-year-old girl. It was just Activiz and a camera there to ask him questions about past allegations.
Hey man, good.
Oh, Lord have mercy. How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
What you up to?
I'm just hanging out.
Just hanging out?
Yep.
Not meeting friends?
No.
All things considered, the meeting is surprisingly simple. Buddy states he's not actually there to meet anyone, despite being exactly where he said he would be to Activiz's catfish account. Either he's being blindingly stupid in thinking he can lie to someone who has set him up, or he's being blindingly stupid by not realizing why Activiz is there instead of a 17-year-old girl.
So you don't know anyone by the name of Cat?
No. I don't know anybody. Cat.
You weren't meeting anyone here by 6?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know anybody named Cat. I pretty much, when I left here, I don't barely talk to anybody except my family that's here.
So Activiz then confronts Buddy surrounding the allegations, with Buddy stating that his messages were misconstrued, or that there was missing context that would lead someone to a different conclusion. But none of the people reporting on this had journalistic integrity.
The video itself, they said it was creepy, but nothing was done wrong there.
Right.
As far as they were concerned, but they were more concerned about the picture and how that was being sent around. And they had already done an IP search and everything, so they were able to clear that that did not come from my IP address, neither my phone nor my address.
Okay.
So, but because it no longer had to do with me, they won't tell me anything else about how they got sent to that 15-year-old.
However, when a situation regarding his comments towards a 16-year-old girl came up, one where the evidence heavily suggested that he was very much aware of her age, he tries a different and far less successful defense.
All right, and then the last thing I do want to ask about is the thing with the 16-year-old girl. So what was the real gist of that? Because there's still people confused about that.
That one? Okay, so from my understanding, yes, the girl was 16.
Right.
But she told me she was from the UK.
Okay.
Now, whether or not this is, something that really irritates people or not, age of consent in UK is 16. Everywhere.
Right.
So even if I was saying those things towards her, there's nothing illegal about that.
Here, Buddy seems to miss the point that even if what he did was legal, it wasn't. What he did was not appropriate. Sharing any form of sexual content over the internet with someone under the age of 18 is illegal, and it would still be frowned upon to sexually engage with a 16-year-old as someone in your late 20s, even if the law supports you. I think this defense is also revealing in the fact that Buddy's logic suggests that if the age of consent was lower, he might have felt comfortable engaging with even younger parties. I guess if you were raised in an environment where this kind of dynamic was normalized, you might be able to use this as a defense, but Buddy himself makes it very apparent that he doesn't approve of inappropriate age gaps either, or sexual conversations with minors.
I've got a niece that's 14, so I wouldn't want some nasty freaking pedophile talking to her either.
So the question becomes, why would he use this as a defense that implies he doesn't know better when he's already stated that he does know better? It just doesn't make sense. This doesn't really fill a critical viewer with confidence that Buddy is a person who has either been framed or has done something wrong and genuinely feels remorse. He also states that he learned the age of consent in each state, which is equally weird.
There's nothing illegal about that. Now,
Here there is.
yeah, here.
Here in the United States there is. In the
Not,
UK it is.
not in every state. In
Yes,
Illinois,
not in-
in Illinois it's 16. Michigan is 17.
But still, like legal doesn't necessarily mean right. Slavery was legal. A bunch of things were legal.
okay,
Prostitution
yeah, okay,
was
so-
legal.
But, so,
Buddy clearly isn't the sharpest knife in the drawer. He might have developmental issues that predispose him to certain behavior. Nevertheless, although his flagrant lies may show a lack of maturity for someone of his age, immature people can feel remorse for their poor decisions and wish to change. Something that the bidet doesn't seem super interested in if his own words are anything to go by.
I have talked to that girl since then.
Right.
Me and her are still friends to this day. She apologized to me, and I apologized to her.
So why was that even sent in to those people at Inform Overload in the first
I don't know. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure out why any of that stuff was sent to Inform Overload.
Wow, it must have been the hackers again, hacking Buddy's account and sending incriminating evidence to news channels.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Well, that's pretty much all I wanted to ask, and I'll ask one more time. You positive you never talked to someone's name?
100%.
So someone by the name of Sweet Baby Cat never talked to you on Snapchat?
No.
And that face that I showed you never looked familiar.
Does not look familiar to me.
You've never talked to that person within the past 3 months.
No. Does not.
What if I told you that was me?
Huh?
What if I told you that was me?
Then I would say that's pretty fucked up if that was you, but I don't know who that is.
Buddy maintains his lie that he had never heard of this person named Kat, saying that he just happened to be in the same park where he would meet this girl on Snapchat. He concludes the conversation with a legal threat.
If that does show up on your channel, I will have the police involved because you did not have my consent.
In spite of this threat, though, Activiz knows his rights and points out that Tennessee, where this was filmed, is a one-party consent state.
Well, you're in public. You have no expectation of privacy.
Yes, I am. I do have an expectation of privacy. I'm still a private citizen. I did not give you permission to film
You're in a
me.
public park, though.
I don't matter if it's,
money off
doesn't matter if it's a public park or not. You did not have my permission to film me. Now,
I can't make money off of it. We're in a public park.
I don't care.
It's not a surprise that Buddy's grasp on consent is somewhat limited, but still, it was a pretty embarrassing and incriminating end to an exchange, which could have given the fallen TikTok starlet a means to redemption.
My honest opinion, do I think the bidet is a pedophile?
I don't think there was ever a way back for someone like Buddy Haynes, but the one thing I would say is that the drama at the end of 2018 moved so quickly that it would have been hard for anyone to respond competently, no matter how damning many of the DMs and pictures were at the time. But now, with the dust mostly settled, there was no real pressure for Buddy to be completely transparent about the person he was, what was true, and what wasn't true. Yet, this interview doesn't bring us any closer to actually seeing his perspective. It just seems like smoke and mirrors from our online outcast. It also demonstrated that he was still unfit to possess any online presence at all, let alone actually command a fan base. Sadly, it seems that Freak Alpha was less alpha and much more freak. At the start of 2020, Buddy would start a new series on his YouTube channel called Campfire Chat. These videos featured him speaking more directly to his viewers about subjects that mattered to him, with his favorite subject being himself. And in the new year, he uploaded a video attempting to apologize and address the past allegations. I'm not going to break this one down in full, as it's not his official response, which we'll get to soon, but it definitely showcases his continued inability to confront what he did.
So, this is not me admitting to anything or agreeing with anything. This is me accepting responsibility because looking back, there's probably things I could have done different.
His narrative doesn't really diverge too much from prior statements, and framing it as an apology is honestly giving it a bit too much credit. He denies that he knowingly behaved inappropriately and says that he would never ever be sexual or suggestive towards underage individuals.
There's plenty of videos, you can probably look at them. I don't want to really delve too much into that. I would never intentionally bother or creep on anyone that is not a legal adult. I'm just not that kind of person. I would never wish that on anybody. For those that felt like I was doing that towards them, I am sorry.
The choice of words in this video were very poor.
As always, with people who feel a lot of remorse for their actions, we receive the classic "sorry you felt that way" non-apology, which feels especially insulting in this case. Buddy should be sorry for acting that way at all. This isn't an interpretive issue.
Why didn't you apologize for the situation where you flirted with that girl, said you're making me have a crush on you even more, and you admitted to someone that was to an underage girl and you only did it because you were drunk? And I want to say to you, drunk or not, you should know that that's not okay.
The response to this video was overwhelmingly negative, and it was removed by Buddy, whose continued attempts at presenting a sincere tone only felt more contrived each time. But he kept posting campfire chats on his channel, also uploading Dungeons and Dragons content, which has also been removed. His pattern of uploads became increasingly sporadic as he realized that his position was largely becoming irredeemable. As people paid less attention, he had less motivation to actually upload anything. He tried streaming streaming on Twitch, and occasionally posted videos, even starting his own weight loss journey, which didn't really go anywhere.
I walked to Burger King, then I walked back home.
But sightings of Buddy around this time became increasingly sparse. Creators like Activiz had stopped uploading entirely, meaning that the few outlets to fame he ever had were drying up completely. By this point, nearly everyone had forgotten he existed in the first place. Many would have expected this to be a natural stopping point. While his reputation online had been completely ruined, no one was really thinking about him anymore. Maybe he could just fade into irrelevancy and let this chapter in his life be washed away by the sands of time.
I'm not fucking leaving!
Buddy changed the name of his YouTube channel to Papa Freak before posting a new campfire chat titled Clearing the Air in January of 2021. This would be another attempt by him to address the allegations. It's unclear whether he's continuing to do this because he genuinely has some sort of beggar's belief that he can clear his name, or if he knows it's the only thing that generates any publicity. Honestly, I wouldn't put either of these past him, as it seems like attention is the only currency that matters to him. In the description, he writes, "After almost 3 years, I address the allegations, my side of the story, and an apology, ? He phrases this like he's teasing the audience, which is an interesting approach to take when addressing allegations of this nature. He also writes, "This was something heavy on my heart, so I know it was time to upload this. I may get some negative feedback for taking so long to properly address it, but here we go." It's interesting that he's framing this like this is the first time he's actually decided to talk about this. Failing to mention, he has tried like 5 other times, but people still hated him. But as it is the only news statement surrounding this topic that's still accessible to the general public, how does it hold up? He opens by talking about the background of his time online, sharing that he had become curious after seeing a short-form video app being promoted on Facebook.
So that's what I did. I started entertaining people at the, me being the butt of the joke, making cringy videos and me just not really caring what people think, just to maybe get a smile or a laugh or two out of people. And I did so successfully, very well. Not to toot my own horn, but I did really good.
Okay, buddy, don't flex on us too hard, okay? Some of us have to make really bad videos before we can make kind of bad videos.
Then, as things progressed, things got a little out of hand.
You're the cute one here, not me, so...
Here, he addresses the first allegations of the inappropriate and creepy TikToks, stating that they were merely intended to be harmless duets with creators and fans. He acknowledges that he probably shouldn't have done some of them in hindsight, but says that he made them with noble intentions, attempting to share love through his influence.
I was doing duets with fans and other content creators, and I wanted to share the limelight with people. Maybe I should have thought twice about doing that. Maybe I should have said no to certain videos. Maybe I should have been more adamant about, okay, maybe this is not the right video. Maybe we could do something different, but I didn't. That's on me. My intent was not to be cringy or flirting or anything like that with anyone in any of the videos. So if that came off that way, that's on me. I should have made sure that didn't happen. If you are one of those people, I am sorry.
Although we're only a minute and a half into this video, you can see the kind of angle he's going for. He's portraying himself as someone with the best intentions, just trying to help people out. A nice guy, if you will. But his attempts at being nice were misconstrued as unwanted advances. This isn't that different to his previous responses, like his interview with Activiz, but it's hard to find this convincing, given that he's once again trying to present this as an actual fresh take, when we know that he's already tried this before. He also tries to speak more on his personal life.
I dealt with a lot of depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, alcohol abuse, and there's a lot of those videos that I was not necessarily in my correct state of mind, and that's on me. I'm not trying to diffuse the situation that, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. I should have been more present in those times.
Now, I don't think this is information that you can't share with viewers, but when you present it in this laundry list type way, without really explaining how it might have affected your judgment, it does read like deflection. You'll notice that he vocally clarifies that none of this is an excuse, but if it's not an excuse, then why is he sharing it without any elaboration? Otherwise, it can't feel like anything other than an excuse. It feels like Buddy is copying more effective apology videos without understanding that a good apology has to come from a sincere place. You have to mean it.
There are conversations between me and some underage people. My intent is never to groom, prey, or sexualize anyone, whether you are of age or not of age. I am just a friendly person, and maybe that comes off to some people the wrong way.
This is another angle that he's tried to sell before, but I think it's very hard to look at the evidence, particularly some messages where he behaves really suggestively, and say that it was just him trying to be friendly.
Think about this tongue all up in your mouth. And that's okay. It took me a little while to realize that might be construed the wrong way, but it is never my intention. And if you are one of those people, I am sorry.
He's obviously saying sorry a lot more clearly in this video, but I think the issue is that if he truly is sorry, then he would be a lot more transparent about his actions. In this case, he's downplaying what he did and then also acting like it was bad to make it look like he's taking more accountability than he actually needs to, as an attempt to endear himself to the audience. In reality, the opposite is true. This isn't nearly enough because he's suggesting that what were extremely creepy advances onto underage girls were just innocent remarks that were misinterpreted. The next thing he brings up is how a picture of his dick ended up being sent to a kid.
As far as the picture of my junk, I did say, I was having problems with alcohol and anxiety and depression with schizophrenia. I wasn't taking my medicine. I was using alcohol to self-medicate myself, and, as a lot of people do, we take pictures. And we do send them to people.
But this explanation does not match up with what he said back when all of this started.
The alleged dick picture. That's a picture from 2 years ago. That I sent to an adult.
So now he's rewriting the record, saying that this picture is not a historic artifact, but instead something that was taken at the same time as the allegations. But he's also saying that it was sent to other people in a haze of alcohol and substances, and it somehow just happened to make its way into the inbox of a kid.
I was embarrassed that even got out in the first place. And then it got sent to someone who it should not have. I don't know how it got sent to someone that was underage. I am still trying to figure that out. 3 years, I still have not figured that out. I have talked to the FBI.
There's no way this guy messaged the FBI asking them to figure out how a picture of his junk ended up in some kid's DMs. That did not happen. With these blatant lies and contradictions, any good faith that could be afforded to Buddy is now gone. But we still have 5 more minutes of this video to go through.
If you are that person, or you are one of those people, I am sorry. That was never meant to get to you. And I am making steps to make sure that does not happen again.
This also doesn't really make sense. What steps do you have to take? He's acting like this is a common issue where people take photos of themselves naked and it just happens to end up on the screen of someone who isn't old enough to view it. It feels like this is just a new version of the hacking claim, and it doesn't really add up. But Buddy then turns his attention to YouTubers, like Activiz, who we've already gone over, and Caseyatron, who had published videos on Buddy but has since removed all of his content. By 2021, both of these people hadn't uploaded anything on their main channels for a while, but Buddy had some words of wisdom for them.
Activists, I don't hate you, I don't dislike you. I honestly like some of you. I like some of your videos. You got a decent personality. I'm not sure if, I struck a chord with you because of, obviously the reason behind the videos, but I hold no ill will towards you. I hope you succeed professionally and personally. Same thing with Caseyatron. We're bold brothers, I I've got nothing against you.
It's definitely weird to say that on one hand, you're innocent and were totally misinterpreted, but then on the other hand, say that you actually like some of the people who are causing those misinterpretations in the first place. I think he just wanted them to make response videos saying that they felt bad about how they had treated him and supporting the idea that he was framed back in the day. He's essentially trying to guilt trip them, but as far as I can tell, it didn't really work. He then segues into talking about how he wants to move forward with his life and the steps he's taking to do so.
I'm staying away from TikTok. As much as you people ask me to go back, I'm staying away from it just so none of this shit happens again. So it doesn't get misconstrued again. I've stopped drinking completely. I'm back on my medicine. I'm in therapy. I'm getting the help that I need.
All of that is good, of course. It's nice that he's staying away from the apps and not abusing alcohol or other substances. With all that said, I can't help but feel these pledges are more just to continue pushing the agenda that they were the main causes for his actions, rather than his own personal gooning.
I am finally at the point in my life where I feel like I can do that, where I can admit my faults, not accept the guilt, but accept the responsibility. Because I was not in complete control, but it does not excuse what happened.
I wouldn't want Buddy here to say he's attracted to children if he genuinely isn't. You shouldn't admit to something you don't believe to be true. If he wants to pursue adult relationships, then that's good, right? At the same time, there has to be something else that led you to behave in such a way beyond alcohol and schizophrenia. There are plenty of people with those issues who don't end up talking to countless underage people in inappropriate ways and sending them explicit content. If Buddy can't unpack that competently, then I don't think he's really reflected on what he did.
So, I hope this is enough. And if it isn't, that is alright. At least I can get this off my chest and maybe salvage what little bit of a life I can have.
Buddy has had the opportunity to move on. In fact, he's had years to do so. And yet, he keeps coming back to the source of his infamy, attempting to rewrite the record because it was the closest thing to being popular online that he's ever had. Practically everyone else had moved on by this video, but he was clinging to the last remnant of relevance by attempting to bring attention back to what he was most remembered for, while also failing to provide any compelling response that actually discredits the more serious allegations.
This has affected me, my friends, and my family personally. To my family, I'm sorry that you had to go through this with me. I love you. You've always been very supportive of me. My friends, I know you. Some of you have been quiet, quiet supporters, not really want to say anything. For those that have been outspoken for me, I support you. For those that haven't, I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. I want you to succeed, and I hope that maybe things can be fixed as far as any friendships that may have happened.
In the last few minutes of the video, he continues his list of apologies, and a naive person might even begin to think that there's some genuine attempt at undoing the damage he's done. But just when you think there's nothing left for this guy to add, he shares one tiny request in passing.
I am going to be a better person. I'm going to be a better Papa Freak. I'm going to start 2021 on a better note. And I hope that maybe I would like if the YouTube people would take down the videos about me. I'm not expecting you to, but if you do, that's great. If you don't, that's fine.
And this is where we see what this is really about. Buddy realized that making threats and demands towards creators does not work. So, to showcase his personal growth, he expresses that it would just be nice if the videos on him were taken down.
I have made a video about this before, apologizing, but it didn't seem sincere to some people. Hopefully this one is more sincere, more thoughtful. I've thought about this, I've prayed about it, I feel better about it. So, you know, I'm sorry.
Maybe this is a more tonally appropriate response video, but his approach is still to downplay and outright ignore many of the accusations that were directed at him.
So you say you don't know a person by the name of Kat whatsoever?
No.
You've never talked to someone named Kat within the past 3 months?
No.
That lives in Thompson Station?
No. I think I'd remember that.
There's not even a mention of the 16-year-old girl that Buddy thought it was okay to talk dirty to, no mention of the 17-year-old catfish that Activiz had set up for him, which is kinda insane given that he addresses Activiz directly in the video. This is not the language or the expressions of someone who actually wants to change. This is someone who wants to escape his past by using the passage of time and people's hazy recall of what had happened years before. He wants to obfuscate the facts concerning these interactions that he supposedly feels a lot of remorse for. No matter how it was packaged, the video was still just another vehicle by Buddy to try and slither his way back into a small audience's good graces. But going off the fact that he turned the comment section off, we can assume that this strategy failed. And since then, he's not uploaded to his channel. One of the deleted comments reads, "Maybe you sent it to someone that was underage when you had drank quite a lot, and maybe you forgot you did it." And Papa Freak responds, "It's a possibility," which is completely different from what he said in the video. It's really hard to grasp that someone could be this inept at handling this situation, but Buddy always knew how to raise the bar. You can see what he's going for throughout the whole video, but his attempts at manipulation are so crude that there's no way that anyone could take his statements at face value. If he was being honest in his intent that he wanted to move on from this part of his life, that he really wanted to be the best Papa Freak he could be, then he would have to move on from being the bidet as well.
Welcome to the Bar Cauldron, wizards young and old, where terrible jokes are told. Grab your mug of your favorite brew, grab your seat, and enjoy the view.
Over the next couple of years, most accounts associated with him would fall inactive and be deleted, with him relinquishing dreams of becoming an influencer in favor of low-key Dungeons & Dragons content. The only real social media footprint left in his name now is an account by the name of King Buddy 2010, but all that it posts is crypto content. It's unclear to me whether this account has been hacked or if Buddy has just become a crypto bro. However, one tweet reads, "#runes is like teenage sex. Everybody talks about it, nobody really knows how to do it. Everyone thinks everyone else is doing it, so everyone claims they are doing it." I don't really know what to say about that, but...
Hello, good people of YouTube. I'm King Buddy. Yes, that's my alias. That's my real name.
In the last few years, with Buddy largely out of the picture, retrospectives have mostly served as the narrative on his life, and that short moment under the most corrupted spotlight there could be. One detail I think is often overlooked in the context of TikTok people is that they often come and go so quickly that we don't actually know their story. A lot of the time, all we have is a brief snapshot of insanity.
So I'm back. There's no stopping me. There's no stopping the storm, the fire that is the bidet.
But with the bidet, most people's knowledge of him begins and ends in late 2018. We don't really know what he did before then. And although his online ventures have taken him in a few different directions in the past few years, we don't know what else has been going on in his life. In comparison to other sites, TikTok makes a less active effort to foster emotional loyalty, allowing the public to create these pockets of fame for people who probably wouldn't have appeal anywhere else.
Hey Siri, find me a big, beautiful woman. Well, hello.
As I already explained in my Sierra Green video, when people like Buddy get a ton of fame and attention without anyone really looking beneath the surface, sometimes eccentricity can masquerade more unsettling tendencies. The bidet may not have truly been the first TikTok predator. Back when the app started, it was crawling with creepy individuals, but his flabby body, bald head, and creepy videos with teenage girls did come together into the perfect representation of a weird Discord mod type guy. His content itself was the most glaring red flag out there, but at the time, people just saw it as cringe instead of being a threat to young girls.
You're behind the couch.
How do you know that?
I can see your feet.
Ew, no. The man chose his audio for very specific purposes, which I will not disclose. For that, my friend, you're getting sent not to retirement home, not for freedom, you're going to freaking jail.
Even so, when he was exposed, it wasn't really a shock. If anything, the most shocking aspect was that an actually underage girl had hopped into his DMs in an attempt to bait him into creeping on her. This is the kind of thing that really only would have been overlooked in 2018. But even if this wasn't the safest way to expose someone, the evidence really spoke for itself.
Guess what? They did an IP search before they even came. Make sure I wasn't lying. Didn't come from my phone or my address. So guess what? Not me.
Nonetheless, Buddy Haynes would attempt to deny it, providing various conflicting explanations. He said it wasn't him, then he said he had been hacked, then he said he didn't know the person's age, then he said he was drunk, then he said he had schizophrenia, then he said it was all legal. But none of it really worked. And with the evidence facing him, TikTok didn't hesitate to take action, deleting his account and ripping a majority of his audience away. For most people, the story ends there. But while some would definitely find the peak of this drama the most fascinating, for me, it's the next few years. They showed how intoxicating the taste of TikTok virality can truly be, as you watch a person who really, under all circumstances, should want nothing to do with the most publicly humiliating part of their life, attempt to claw back credibility and fame that they never possessed in the first place. It's like to Buddy, getting famous on TikTok for 3 weeks was the equivalent of doing heroin once, and for the rest of his life, no matter what highs he chases, the only thing that would truly satisfy him would be to be famous on TikTok again. Even when he continued to be exposed and called out, he still tried his best to claw back. The problem with Buddy was that while he found fame as the cringy persona he had created, he attempted to refurbish his image as a socially awkward guy who didn't even know how to flirt, which was true, but not in the way he thought. If he had genuinely just been a clueless individual who didn't understand social boundaries, you wouldn't see such a disproportionate representation of certain people in his content. Everything here really sent the same message. Buddy was a pervert and also a really bad liar.
I would never intentionally bother or creep on an illegal adult. Whether or not this is, something that really gives people or not, age of consent in UK.
His lies show that he never really understood why he was popular in the first place. He didn't realize that people weren't laughing with him, they were laughing at him. And the only way to ever really win back the influence that he had lost all those years ago would be to indulge that insanity once more.
I am just a friendly person, and maybe that comes off some people the wrong way.
His final video really cemented his fate. After continuously being dragged for his defiant stance, he changed to a more apologetic tone, thinking that at least presenting a guise of accountability might make people reevaluate how they felt about him. It might make his detractors remove their videos, and maybe TikTok would restore his account so he could have all that former glory back. This was the most honest we ever saw him. Someone for whom the truth was too big a price to pay for any semblance of respect. He knew that admitting everything would bring that story to a close, so he wanted to keep fighting his battle, no matter how badly he was losing. No matter if he was the only person still dwelling on the situation. The Hiru Onoda of his own reputational war.
Moving forward, I would like to just move on with my life.
You've probably noticed that a lot of what I've gone over in this video, even the most notorious content, is now kind of hard to find. That's because nobody thought it was important enough to save. And the footprints of his post-controversy internet existence have been washed away by the tides of change. As he himself said, the attention was what kept him alive. But since 2018, he's been a dead man walking. Outside of his online presence, we don't really know where he's been since then, or if he'll try to recapture some of his past magic. But like many 15-minute scandals, as big as they are, the internet has a habit of forgetting. So why does Buddy Haynes want us to remember?
Because the less followers I get, the less more I want to be on. The more followers I get, the more I love to be on here.
For Buddy, it was that brief moment of adrenaline when he was the center of attention. His life before and after isn't something that the greater public has been interested in, which is why he loved that brief moment where everyone was paying attention, no matter what it was for.
The greatest thing about hitting rock bottom is there's only one place to go. That's up.
Buddy Haynes may have been the first, but he was far from the last to act this way. But you can't fight the winds of change when your position as internet punching bag is replaced by the next guy. Whether it takes days, weeks, months, or years, it always happens. In the case of people like Buddy Haynes, that may be a blessing in disguise. I've been Turkey Tom, thanks for watching, and until next time...
Discord has a massive CP problem, and it's getting significantly worse. In fact, things have escalated so quickly and gotten so bad that just being on a completely normal Discord server puts you at risk of being exposed to CSAM content. But to explain how we got here, I want to walk you through the timeline of events that led to this, where each stage of the timeline gets progressively worse and worse until we end up where we're at now, where you can just join a random Discord server and potentially be exposed to CSAM content. It's not even a matter of if you see it, it's when you see it. It is that f***ing bad. But first, let's start off with stage 0, how things were at the beginning. But there were Discord servers that would share CSAM content, but these were hidden in very dark web forms. You would have to be a predator to find these servers. And they would look a little something like this. Now, this is not exactly the server. To find those, you genuinely have to be a predator, but this is sort of what it was like. This is a Discord server called the Mega Trading. Basically, predators on Discord will have a collection of CSAM content, and they will host it on a website called Mega. This is like Google Drive, Dropbox, but Mega is encrypted. And since it's encrypted, predators take advantage of that. And you can see from this screenshot here, this person sent a whole bunch of links, and inside of those links, they contain folders, 69 gigabyte folders, 14 gigabyte folders, that just contain files and files of videos and pictures of CSAM content. But what predators will do is they will find servers like this to trade their Mega links. They are trying to expand their collection. These people are genuinely using Discord like LinkedIn for predators. Here's what I learned about B2B sales by engaging with predators. I'm going to get sued for this joke. Now just keep in mind, these servers always existed, but they were hard to find. So for you as a normal internet user, there was no risk for you being exposed to this stuff. And that's how things work. But let's get into the first stage of this horrible descent into Discord's ever-growing CSAM problem. But there are websites where you can list your Discord server and advertise it, and people can go on these websites and look for Discord servers to join. And one that everyone knows about is called Discord. Now, Discord used to be horrible. In fact, I Am Lucid, a YouTuber, had a video called Discord Has a CP Problem, which featured Discord and a whole bunch of horrible listings. In fact, Discord was still a problem after that video, a year after, that even I covered it in my own video. Now, fortunately, Discord isn't as bad anymore. I did find this one Discord server, which was called Linkland, and considering the icon is of the Mega icon, you can put the pieces together. This was a Discord server that was sharing CSAM content, but good news, it got removed off Discord. But Discord isn't the only website where you can search for Discord servers. In fact, there's a website called Discadia, but if you search for something as simple as 13-17, talking about an age range, you can see this is the first result on my screen, Gay Boys Club Gateway. And I quote, a gay hangout server for you and your friends to hang out in air quotes and have fun. No girls. 13 to 17, definitely not even spelt correctly. That's how you can tell they're teenagers. 18 plus. This is already bad, but it gets worse. There's two problems with this sort of thing. First, if you are just a normal Discord user and you go on a Discord listing website like Discadia, there is statistically a chance that you might find a Discord server that has CSAM content. But the second problem with this is the fact that these websites are indexed by Google. Now, since we're talking about literally CSAM content, I am going to change the example a little bit so I don't go to jail, but I'm going to search for e-girl Discord server. And you can see that the first search result is Discord. And if you keep scrolling down, there's top.gg, Discadia. These websites are indexed by Google, so all that means is that if a predator hears the name of a Discord server, like Mega Trading 9000 Gazillion, they could just type that into Google with Discord at the end of it and find the server. So at this point in the timeline, it's easier for predators to trade their CSAM collections because it's easier for them to just Google search for servers. But for you as a normal Discord user, if you're on one of these websites like Discadia, there is a chance that you can just be exposed to CSAM because the website has moderation. The first result that I found was illegal shit. Now, if you thought that was bad, fair warning, no, it gets significantly worse. In fact, these next two stages that I'm going to talk about on the timeline aren't due to predators. These problems are escalated because of teenagers themselves. Teenagers have made the problem worse. And that's where I get to stage 2, comm servers. Now, just to make it clear, this is like a top-level summary and is not exhaustive at all. But if you don't know what the Discord comm is. Let me give you an Urban Dictionary definition of it because they do a better job than I can explain. COM is short for community. COM refers to communities that revolve around cybercrime and doxing. COMs are typically comprised of teenagers from the age ranges of 14 to 17 who would rather scam, sim swap, fraud, and engage in destructive behaviors instead of getting a real job. Sorry, I should probably be censoring that. That's a slur. Or skill. They are primarily made up of script kiddies and aggregate on games like Roblox, Minecraft, and VR chat because real life socialization is scary. Basically, these guys are chronically online losers, and that's coming from me. I am already a loser, so these guys are really bad. But as I was researching the CSAM problem, there was an article by Childlight who talked about how the CSAM economy is growing, and I want to point out something they said about teenagers specifically. They said, worryingly, this culture of collection, referring to predators, is also appearing in the behavior of children with one another. In a joint project conducted in the United Kingdom, female youth described feeling pressured to send images, while male youth felt pressure to collect and distribute those images to achieve higher social value. So when you have these comm kiddos or Discord e-gangsters, they feel insecure about their social status, so they will distribute these images to achieve a higher social value. And that is deep rooted in the Discord comm, because if you go on a Discord comm server, 50% of it are people talking about their toxic relationships and leaking CSAM content, and the other 50% are these dudes talking about how they're so rich, you're a poron, and they're gonna go, and I quote, band for band. But they have all this fraud money, and they'll usually spend it on like luxury watches and goods to again achieve higher social value. But with that fraud money, they will also pay e-girls for nude photos to again get higher social value. And since teenage youth felt pressure to collect and distribute the images, predators will pretend to be teenagers to collect those images to again increase their collection. In fact, I even made a video about how one of these comm servers were owned by a predator. Like, this actually happens. I'm not talking out of my ass. But with these comm servers, it has also resulted in another problem. Sellers. With those e-gangster servers, you had those e-guys giving e-money to their e-girls to be their e-girlfriend to send them e-nude photos. And what ended up happening is that teenage girls realized that this could be a job. In fact, here's a screenshot of someone's Discord profile. I have censored everything for obvious reasons. But you can see their pronouns are she and her, and in their about me, they say, hi. 14, an invite link to a Discord server, and it says only DM if buyer or friend. What girls have realized is that instead of having their e-relationship with their comboy, instead they can just sell photos to anyone that pays for it. And I want to point out that you might think the problem is just girls, but I have been sent by a viewer this person here, and the name behind this was a dude's name, and they said, I'm 15 and mostly a bottom. I sell pictures. I'll basically do almost anything intercourse DLC wise, but I do have some exceptions, and I don't want to read this. And just when I thought I hated myself by reading this, he continues on by saying, please send me unsolicited pics and threats. Sometimes I genuinely hate myself and the internet and just what everything has become. You have people fighting to fix the problem, and then you have teenagers who will sell photos of themselves, making the problem worse, fueling the whole entire problem because they want easy money. And I have had some people that have sold pictures in the past reach out to me and explain how they deeply regretted it. Now, the problem is that these girls or boys that are selling photos, they go everywhere on Discord. They are like a lethal combo of a car salesman being slimy and a Jehovah's Witness going to every doorstep on planet Earth. I have seen on more than one occasion these e-girl sellers putting in an advertisement in a Discord channel, like straight up. It could be about like Skibbity Toilet or something. They'll drop, I'm selling photos of myself, check my bio. And that's how this problem is getting worse. Like, taking a step back, before to see any sort of CSAM content, you had to look for it yourself. Now it's starting to be advertised to you. And for the Discord predators, this is like Amazon for them. They can just shop around and buy whatever the hell they want. But the predators have taken things a step further. Just like how you have those seller Discord accounts, predators have done the exact same thing. Well, you can see that this account here says, hit me up. And when you click on the Discord account, their account says trading no limit mega links, 24/7 mega link trade, DMs always open. open. Please don't do this, but my viewer for some reason decided to DM them. What exactly are you selling? And this person said that they're just trading megas for people. What's a mega? It's just files with videos and pics you can share with others. Aha. And if just for science I'd want to buy one, how much would that cost? $200 for 500 gigabytes worth of videos. Now you might be thinking, no text-to-speech. No. Hear me out. This person is just selling OnlyFans leaks because those are also on Mega. Wrong. Completely wrong, because my viewer says, like, younger than 18? Yep. It's all a mix, to be honest. This is an account that is selling CSAM content, and guess what? Their account hasn't been banned. It still exists on Discord. It is actually disgusting. So taking a step back, if the last stage was like Amazon for Discord predators where they can shop around and get what they want, this stage is like late stage capitalism, because now you're having advertisements being shoved down your throat by actual predators trying to promote and sell you CSAM content. So predators, they don't even need to look for this stuff anymore. It just shows up on their doorstep. But that also means for you as a normal human being, you are being exposed to this stuff just by being on Discord. Now, if you were hoping that was as bad as it gets, no, it gets so much worse. And this is genuinely what made me make this whole video in the first place, because predators are making and buying thousands of Discord accounts to spread and sell CSAM all across Discord. Chances are, if you've been on Discord long enough, you have seen an account like this. This account's username is teen lesbian CP stuff. You would think, you know, Discord, a fucking ginormous tech platform, couldn't have an AI that would look at this username and be like, you know what? Maybe this is illegal and we should ban this account. But no, it doesn't stop there, because these accounts also in their bio say DM me for all kinds. They talk about Zangy, which is a private chatting service. They have a group channel, Teens Link, that word again, Mega Links, Mom and Son Links, and they advertise their Zangy group chat or their Signal account. So these are just bots that are advertising their Signal, their Telegram, their Zangy, all these private chatting platforms where they sell and trade CSAM content. But what predators will do on these bots is they will go into those minor selling servers, and these bots will go in and advertise that they're also selling content because the bot fits right in. And the problem is that if this account gets banned, these predators have thousands of accounts that will replace it. You can like buy 1,000 Discord accounts for like $3 or something. I don't know. I have a screenshot of how much it costs that I just found. But predators will buy these accounts and turn them into CSAM spam accounts. And you'd think that'd be the end of everything. You know, video done, Discord is letting predators make bot accounts that promote CSAM content. This is already f***ed up and disgusting. But no, it gets worse. Here's a Discord server here which is talking about reselling. They're buying on the internet for cheap and they're reselling it for a higher price. But since the server has the word sell in it, if you go down to their VIP wins channel, you will see that there are bots called Mega Dropbox Link. You can literally see on October 22nd, 2025, this is happening right now. They're trying to ping everyone, advertising the stuff that they have in their Mega Dropbox. And it's not just this account. If I go to the socials channel, you can see deleted user started a thread Mega Dropbox links. This server is infested with these bots. Now, their account is deleted. It is gone. They have been banned off Discord for selling CSAM content, yet their message on Discord still exists. Discord, they are still advertising CSAM content. You banning them has done absolutely nothing. Why do I, an incompetent moron on the internet, need to point out the most obvious shit that anyone can see? Why do I have to explain this to a massive company that this is not enough? And by the way, I'm not done my rant, because guess what? It gets even worse. Because these bots don't stop at invading any server that talks about selling. In fact, they have gone to NSFW Discord servers, and this is a giant problem on Discord. When you join one of these Discord servers, you have chats that look like this. You have an obvious scam account saying, any boy wanna chat. Then you have CP blank Teen Link seller, and this account is just spamming DM me for any kinds of hot stuff channels and more. And they're just spamming over and over again, and this is on an NSFW channel. Oh yeah, what does it say on my script? That's right, it gets worse again, because these bots don't just invade selling servers. They don't just invade NSFW servers. No, they've gone even further. It has gotten worse. They will use their bot accounts to join just a gay pride Discord server, and you can see that again, Discord is not doing their job here, because the username is Mega Teen Seller. This account is trying to sell CP. Oh wait, hold on, what's that? Oh yeah, the script again says it gets worse. Because not only do these accounts have very obvious names that they're selling CSAM content, no, you know what? Why fucking stop there? Because now what's happening is that these accounts, like this person, R Gay R CP R Mega Link Seller, their profile picture is of CSAM content. So what that means is that when they join that Gay Pride Discord server, if you click on their profile, you are now being exposed to CSAM content because Discord can't fucking moderate such an obvious name. And you might be thinking, you know what, there's R Gay R CPR, you know, maybe we're talking about CPR. There's this account here that literally says selling gay CP and it has CSAM in the photo, and Discord's like, boom, we're letting that on our platform to scar a whole bunch of people, then it gets banned like maybe a day later. Oh yeah, what does it say on my script? It gets even worse. What's happening now is that these predators are going on Discadia and joining any Discord server that's advertised on Discadia. And also, by the way, it happens on Discord. If you post your Discord server on one of those listing websites, there's a good chance that you will have one of these CSAM bots join it. We can see this Megalink account, and looking at the Megalink account, it is the same thing. And by the way, this viewer didn't just have that happen once. They had it happen again. And just to make things even worse, this Discord server is a fan community server for the Roblox game Build a Boat for Treasure. This is a Discord server for a fucking Roblox game, a game meant for kids and teenagers, and it's being joined by a Discord bot that is promoting CSAM content. And remember, some of these bots actually have CSAM as their profile picture. So these bots are joining Roblox games and exposing kids to CSAM content. In fact, when I was making this video, I had over 50 different viewers telling me about this problem, and I have cut it down to be as short as humanly possible to get my message across. This is everywhere. It's not a matter of if you'll find one of these accounts, it's when you'll find one of these accounts. Because here's the problem. They will spam your chats advertising this stuff. They will also friend request people on your Discord server and spam their DMs advertising CSAM content. So before on Discord, you would never be exposed to CSAM content unless you were a predator trying to find it. But as we have gone through the stages of this problem, if you join any Discord server, you can be exposed to CSAM content because these bots are everywhere, infiltrating every corner of Discord, and again, a lot of them have CSAM as their profile picture. And that is how Discord's CSAM problem has gotten significantly worse. But what is Discord doing about this? And to explain how broken this system is, which I've already shown you plenty of already, I want to take a look at this article called Hiding in Plain Sight, Exposing Discord's Thriving Exploitation Networks. And I'll have this linked in the description. It is well worth your read. But the reason why I want to point this out is because this article is based on numbers, actual fucking data. It's not just me talking anecdotally about what my viewers and I have experienced. These are actual numbers through Discord's Digital Services Act disclosure. Because now what happens is that Discord needs to disclose why they ban people and which accounts they ban. And in this article, I want to point out on January 31st, 2024, before the US Senate, then CEO of Discord, Jason Citron, expressed his confidence in Discord's safety practices. In the very same appearance, he had given a written testimonial where he, in his words, stated, "No matter how Discord identifies violative content, users who upload child